G'day there guys, it's your boy I Read Reddit back at it again with some more entitled parent stories. Now I hope you enjoy this one today, throw a shrimp on the barbie, sit back, relax, and let's get this one done. I hope you love it. Our first story is coming from user Saniope, titled, I'm called a tramp for having a different body type. So for some context, okay, I'm currently 15 years old and chubby. My weight distribution makes me look relatively curvy and it can get annoying. Very annoying. I also happen to be very tall, so a lot of clothes that fit me width-wise won't fit me height-wise, which is also annoying. I've always been extremely self-conscious due to bullying for being fat, so I was trying to give myself some confidence and wore a short shirt. It wasn't exactly a crop top. I was just too tall for that shirt, but my friends told me it looked cute on me, and some high-waisted skinny jeans to cover what the shirt didn't. I also had a flannel shirt around my waist in case I got cold, since it was early spring. Now to the story. Our cast involves friend 1, friend 2, entitled mother, innocent kid, me, and security. So, me and my friends were at the movie theater waiting to see Happy Death Day 2, which happened to be by the next gate for a kids movie. I forgot what it was though. Both of my friends are thinner than I am and were wearing clothes a bit more revealing than I was. Nothing too bad, just some shorts and a sleeveless top. They looked really cute, and we're sitting on a bench outside by the gate, just chatting. Suddenly, Karen shows up with her little kid in tow. They sat down on a bench next to us, and the entitled mother noticed what, not all of us, but specifically what I was wearing. She says, excuse me, could you please cover up a bit? My son here is very young, and I don't want to expose him to such indecency. I raised my eyebrow and blinked for a second. I wasn't sure if I had heard her correctly. I'm sorry, what? Honestly, I'm surprised your parents let you go out like this. You and how much skin you're showing may as well streak across the theater. Cover up! I don't want my son to be exposed at such a young age. He might think it's okay for girls to dress like that. I blinked for a second and blushed. I felt humiliated, as I was already having some issues with my body, and tried to put on my flannel top. But my friend stopped me and said, What right do you have to say that to my friend? You do realize we are all dressed with the same amount of skin showing, right? But you nice girls aren't blatantly exposing your breasts to the world. The entitled mother gestures to how my neckline went beneath my collarbone, and I started crying out of embarrassment. Friend 2 hugged me as I held my flannel close to me to cover myself. Mommy, why is the girl crying? She realized how inappropriately she was dressed and is embarrassed, sweetie. That's what happens when you don't follow the rules. By this time, friend 2 had had enough and walked up to the entitled mother. I'm sorry, ma'am, but my friend has serious issues with her self-image, and we're just trying to make her feel better. It's people like you bullying her that makes her want to hide in a hoodie her whole life. By now, I had buried my face in the flannel shirt I had and was a wheezing mess. Not my finest moment, but still. While my friends were distracted, I put the shirt on, and it was really big on me. I wanted to hide in it forever, but sadly I couldn't. The entitled mother says, Look, it's not my fault that she has to show off her massive butt to the world. I'm just trying to keep my son's innocence intact. That comment made me cry harder. I did my best to slouch in a way that hid my butt. Eventually, security saw all the commotion and came over. What seems to be the problem? This little tramp is trying to expose herself to my son. She then pointed at me, and I was trying to hold back a wall of tears at this point. The security looked over at my friends. Is this true? No way! Our friend was just trying to enjoy herself when this lady came over and started insulting her. Not true! Under that plaid shirt of hers, she was wearing basically nothing. I bet she wasn't even wearing a bra. Security guard looked at me and tilted his head. Is this true, ma'am? Are you exposing yourself to this young boy? I was too choked up to say anything, but friend 2 stepped in and said, No way! All she was wearing was a normal t-shirt. It was a little short on her because she's tall, look. She proceeded to try and slip the flannel off of me, but I clung onto it, still crying. In all honesty, I felt ashamed of my body at that point. Eventually, she got it off me and I was just sitting and sniffling. The security guard nodded. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. I cannot have you harassing this young lady. What? Look at her!
She's wearing practically nothing. She should be charged for public indecency and scarring my son.
Ma'am, you have to leave now. You're having a direct impact on her mental health, and if you don't leave, I will have to call the cops.
With a grumble, the entitled mother left with the innocent kid looking sad. I really felt bad for the kid. Security looked at me and my friends and said,
"Sorry for the inconvenience. Is there something I could do to help make up for it?"
The security guard was really nice, and just as I was about to shake my head, my friend burst in. Friend 1 and 2 said, "A Coca-Cola Icy would make her feel a lot better. Trust us, she won't stop crying till she gets one." They chuckled and I blushed and looked at them. I sighed as I kinda knew it was true, and I nodded. The security guard handed us 3 coupons for free ices, and we each got one. The rest of the day went pretty smoothly. The movie was funny, and we had some popcorn. We got to joke about it once the movie was over. All in all, a rocky day, but still ended on a good note. Our next story is also by user Saniope, titled, "You are corrupting my son with your sadistic religion." Guess who's back? Right again. Don't want to get copy striked. So, cast, entitled parent, an innocent kid, then me. So, as a Wiccan, it is somewhat hard for me to find places where I can express my beliefs safely, the way that I should, but before this happened, I had never met someone so prejudiced. So, one time I was practicing a ritual for an upcoming full moon in a roofed area in a large forest-like park. I had a few candles lit and some small bottles of essential oil, and just as I was about to read out my spell, I noticed a mother covering her son's eyes and looking at me in disgust, as I've been wearing a homemade necklace with a pentagram on it. I tried to ignore it as I tried to clear my mind again, until the woman starts to walk closer to me.
"You should be ashamed of yourself."
I opened my eyes and looked at her and spoke as politely as possible. Excuse me?
"You should be ashamed that you're infecting this holy place with your sins. Have you no shame?"
"Ma'am, I'm sorry, but this is a public place and I'm allowed to express myself as I please."
"Mummy, is this lady gonna do magic?" "Don't worry, sweetie. Mummy will make sure she doesn't curse you. We have God on our side."
And anime. I rolled my eyes and attempted to continue my ritual.
"Listen, can you take your sacrificial ritual somewhere else? You are corrupting my son."
"Ma'am, I was here first. If you wish to take your son somewhere where he won't see me, then by all means go ahead. But I'm not moving."
"But my son wants to sit in the shade and relax. His feet hurt and he could die of heat stroke. Do your kind really not care about the safety of our children?"
"Ma'am, it's 60 degrees outside. Your son is in no danger. Now, if you will, please leave me alone. This is an important ritual."
"Mommy, my feet hurt." "Listen here, you little brat. I want my son to sit down and be happy without you corrupting him with your sadistic religion. So pick up your caboose and vamoose."
I proceed to ignore her as I relight one of my candles that had gone out. When she noticed that I wasn't budging, she started to pick up my items and head out for the trash can. I quickly took a notice of this and got up. "Ma'am, please, I need those things. Those crystals were expensive." She then started throwing away my most expensive amethyst shards that I'd spent $60 on of my Christmas money. She then walked back and put out my candles and brushed my stuff into the dirt. I was mad as she took her son to sit on a bench in the roofed area.
"Hey, you're paying for that?" "I will do no such thing. If anything, you should be paying me for helping you rid your life of those sinful objects."
I stormed off to security and informed them of the woman's behavior and asked my mother if she wanted to press charges for destruction of property as she damaged $150 worth of materials. My mother agreed and the woman was escorted out while she was shouting,
"You're all going to hell for this. I just wanted to protect my son."
Luckily for me, Wiccans don't believe in hell. Okay, so our last story is a 3-part series, posted by user irishwritermommy, titled, "Pass My Student Right Now." So, after all this time reading these stories and saying to myself, this can't be real, it actually happened to me today. Please excuse any errors. I'm typing this on my phone for my lunch break. Background: I'm a high school culinary arts teacher. Rewind to Friday. The following exchange happens in my 3rd hour class. Student:
Miss, why are you giving me an F?
because you've turned in 3 out of 27 assignments.
But, Miss, I got a game this weekend and now you made me ineligible.
Sorry to hear that. Maybe turn in some work?
Can't I just go wash some dishes or something?
No? Kid stomps off. Now, that is a common exchange for a teacher during sports season. I thought nothing of it until this morning. I checked my email and saw this subject, concern about entitled kid's grade. The original email was nice enough. Why is entitled kid failing, etc. So I emailed back the entitled parent with the same response I gave the entitled kid. And then stuff got real. I received a series of emails from the entitled parent. Basically,
How dare you? Don't you know who he is? The basketball team needs him. Change his grade right now.
I emailed back, no, I can set a meeting with the coach and principal if you'd like.
No, you're just cooking teacher. Do as you're told. Change his grade now. It's not like he'll ever need the stuff you teach anyway.
Sorry, I'll help him after school with his work if you'd like, but I'm not changing his grade with no work.
Listen, change his grade now or we will tell everyone that you've been trying to assault him.
It was at this point that she must have realized her truly epic mistake. This was my school email, and all of them are archived and can be seen by the public with a simple request. Because before I could put every reply into this one, I got this.
And you just know my husband is a professional hacker for the government and these emails will all be gone in minutes. Change the grade or else.
So, I took my stack of newly printed emails down to my boss just a few minutes ago. Can't wait to see what happens next. As soon as I know something, I will update. And no, I don't really believe her husband's a government hacker. This is a military town, so I think she just hoped I'd buy it. I brought the paper copies down so my boss wouldn't have to mess with logging into my email.
Update. Pass my student right now.
Okay, so I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. After school, I got the expected call from an admin to come in for a meeting. Much of this meeting took place without me, but essentially they rounded up the entitled kid and asked him, point blank, if I had ever assaulted or harassed him. The entitled kid said no,
she'd never do anything like that.
So then, they showed him a copy of his mother's email, and I guess he turned very pale. He said after that he got home and told his mum that he couldn't play in the game. She told him not to worry and that she'd take care of it. The entitled kid is suspended for 2 days and can't play until all missing work is handed in. Now, as for the entitled mother, they couldn't get a hold of her, so they called the dad. The dad, not military, not government, not a hacker, is actually a mild-mannered accountant. The dad said the entitled mother called him from the road and told him she was probably going to be arrested and not to tell anyone where she was. My principal relayed this information, all while trying very hard not to laugh. The school resource officer asked if I wanted to press charges. I said no. End of story. Not very climactic, but oh well. I truly hope the entitled kid gets his mum home soon. I also hope that the dad gets her some mental health help. Edit, just to clarify, I think the mother, like most entitled parents, just lost her mind a bit when she realized things weren't going her way. And then after she couldn't take back the email, she panicked. The dad was actually really cool, and he had assured me that the mum will never be in touch with me in any way ever again. Yes, I'm giving the kid a break. After all, he had the opportunity to make my life a living hell and possibly cost me my job, but he didn't. So I told the dad and the principal that when he comes back, if he can pass both a written exam and a practical cooking exam with an 80% score, then I'll forgive the missing assignments. I don't know exactly why the kid got suspended, but this may be the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. He's been in trouble too many times before. And here's the final update to the story, Pass My Student Right Now. So, many of you have asked why the kid got suspended. I was too overwhelmed yesterday to ask the admin, so I asked today. Turns out, the suspension wasn't directly because of this incident, but indirectly. When the security went to get the kid, he didn't know what for yet. He called the security officer an effing C and told her to F off. So now we know. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Feel free to tell me what you thought about it in the comments, and yeah, we'll have a chat about it. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good day.